you are a Christian, a real true Christian, or you are a conservative, Stephanie White said you are not welcome to watch this team any longer. I got to tell you, this is the worst look the Indiana Fever have had since Caitlinclark arrived.
Just a couple of minutes ago, things took an even rougher turn for Stephanie White. People online stopped just arguing back and forth and started pulling up actual proof, real ticket confirmations, hotel reservations, pictures of freshly bought Caitlinclark jerseys, and season ticket invoices. Fans who had dropped real money were suddenly posting evidence that they were done, walking away for good. That's exactly the kind of headache no sports organization ever wants to deal with. The whole situation spiraled into chaos way quicker than anyone saw coming. One day, the Fever were riding high, celebrating 3 All-Stars, and the next day, nobody was even talking basketball anymore. Instead, everyone was asking whether the organization had driven away the exact fans who helped turn the franchise into one of the hottest tickets in all of sports. And that's the point where everything took a sharp turn. The transcript behind all this controversy focused on comments that a lot of fans felt brushed off Christians and conservatives, as if they didn't count among the team's supporters. Whether or not people agreed with those comments almost didn't matter anymore, because the real story quickly became how people reacted to it.
I did a video on the Matrix and Road show yesterday. That boycott, that game had 1 million less views, 1 million less viewers than the very last CBS game before it. The game that people said, oh, well, I don't think fans are really going to tune out. Yeah, compared to the previous game, 980,000 fans decided not to watch. A boycott can be done.
Fans didn't just sit there complaining. They actually started showing proof of how much time and money they'd put into following the Fever over the years. Some pulled out stacks of old game tickets, others posted hotel bookings from trips they'd taken down to Indianapolis, and a few even shared pictures of themselves rocking Fever gear they'd bought just weeks before all this started. That's when the whole tone of the conversation shifted. It wasn't just random comments scattered across social media anymore. People wanted the world to see they were real, paying fans, and they were trying to prove they'd been supporting this team way before the controversy even blew up. Then things got even weirder. Instead of things calming down, the Fever's social media pages got flooded with people demanding Stephanie White get fired. Almost every single post meant to celebrate Caitlinclark, Aaliyah Boston, or Kelsey Mitchell somehow turned into another argument about the coach instead of the players. What was supposed to be a celebration turned into nothing but a distraction real quick.
For a business, the Indiana Fever, and your coach gave the middle finger to millions of new viewers and fans and merchandise buyers, etc., etc. And here's my issue. A lot of people will say, well, trade her out of Indianapolis. It's going to be this way with every damn team in this league. It's the league. The league.
That's exactly the kind of thing no franchise wants happening during one of the biggest stretches of its season. And the proof just kept piling up. Every hour, it felt like another fan was posting something to show this wasn't just some fake outrage cooked up online. These were real people who'd spent actual money because of Caitlinclark, buying jerseys, booking hotels, packing out restaurants before games, even bringing friends along who'd never watched a WNBA game in their life. And now, all of a sudden, those same fans were saying they were done, walking away for good. Then things got even harder to brush off. Attention quickly turned to TV ratings. Earlier in the season, a separate boycott tied to a different WNBA controversy reportedly caused a big drop in viewership compared to the previous national broadcast. Now, nobody can really prove every single missing viewer stayed away because of that boycott, but a lot of fans pointed to those numbers as proof that skipping a broadcast can actually make a difference. And that idea caught on fast. People started saying, the only thing team owners really listen to is money. Not angry comments, not trending hashtags, just money. Every canceled ticket, every skipped broadcast, every jersey left sitting on a shelf, that's where fans felt their voices would actually get heard. But then another question popped up. Where was the Fever organization in all of this? Meanwhile, The team just kept posting highlight reels and all-star graphics, celebrating Caitlinclark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell.
There, Caitlinclark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell have all made the team as all-stars right here. Let's see this little video that the Fever put up.
Caitlinclark, Boston, Kelsey Mitchell. This is how you bring the roof down. All sidestep Clark.
Under pretty much every one of those posts, though, the comments told a completely different story. Instead of hyping up the players, a lot of fans kept asking why nobody from the organization was even addressing the controversy, and that silence itself became part of the story. Normally in sports, organizations try to get ahead of a PR problem before it snowballs, but here, a lot of fans felt like the opposite was happening. Every hour that passed without a response just fueled more speculation and frustration. Then another uncomfortable point came up. Plenty of supporters argued that Caitlinclark was the reason the Fever turned into one of the biggest attractions in American sports, pointing to attendance numbers going up, national TV exposure exploding, and merchandise sales hitting levels the franchise had never seen before. Because of all that, a lot of fans started questioning why the organization seemed willing to risk pushing away the very audience that helped drive all that growth. From there, the conversation grew way bigger than just one coach. People stopped asking whether Stephanie had messed up and started wondering whether the Fever actually understood how much their fan base had changed over the past year. And that question might end up mattering a lot more than the original controversy itself. By this point, the story had gone way past one press conference. Fans weren't just arguing over a single comment anymore. They were asking whether the Fever had a leadership problem that had been building for months. That's really where the pressure started ramping up. A lot of supporters brought up moments earlier in the season when Caitlinclark took hard fouls or got caught in the middle of physical, rough games, arguing that the organization never stepped up to publicly defend its biggest star.
Wait for the day Cece is playing somewhere else. Only Stephanie White could turn a team with 3 All-Stars into a 7th seed. Fire that pathetic coach, Stephanie White. How the F is she still defending Alyssa Thomas? Wow. Don't promote our girl, Cece, if she's not going to get to play. In other words, protect her better. Fire Stephanie White. Man, I can't wait to see what this looks like in another 12 hours. In another 12 hours, because it is going to be ugly. Ugly.
Whether people agreed with that criticism or not, the perception mattered just as much as the reality. That's just how pro sports work. Everything runs on perception. And if fans start feeling like their favorite player isn't being protected, frustration builds up fast. So now those older complaints started blending together with this new controversy, creating one giant headache for the organization to deal with. And then another layer of the story came into focus. The Fever should have been living through one of the best weeks in franchise history, with 3 players earning All-Star honors, national attention at an all-time high, and every network wanting more Caitlinclark coverage because people kept tuning in. Instead, the headlines went somewhere else entirely, and the basketball itself almost disappeared from the conversation. That's basically a nightmare for any organization trying to keep momentum going, because every single day spent talking about controversy is a day not spent promoting the players who are actually out there winning games. Then an even bigger business question came up. The WNBA has seen massive growth ever since Caitlinclark joined the league. Ratings went up, arenas filled up, and merchandise sold faster than ever before. Networks even committed billions of dollars through new media deals because they believed interest in women's basketball had hit a whole new level. And that's exactly why every public controversy matters so much more now, because when a league is growing this fast, protecting the relationship with new fans becomes incredibly important. A lot of supporters argued that pushing away even a small chunk of that fan base creates a risk nobody should be taking right now.
It is a massacre. After what Stephanie White said yesterday, it is ugly. And you know what? Stephanie White has allowed her own social and political beliefs to officially interfere with her professional job. I have a vote of no confidence. It's over. It's over. And it's going to be interesting to see how fans react. Are fans going to tune out of these games? Keep in mind, they told a massive portion of the new fan base, you're not welcome to watch.
Whether that worry actually plays out over time is something only future attendance and ratings will tell us. But honestly, just having this conversation shows how much the league has changed in barely a year. Then came the question nobody inside the Fever organization really wanted to touch. Was this just an unlucky controversy that would fade after a few news cycles, or had the team seriously underestimated how passionate, invested, and powerful this new wave of fans had become? That single question might end up shaping the Fever's next chapter, way more than any actual game on the schedule. And now the Fever are staring down the biggest question of all. What happens if all these receipts start turning into real business losses? That's the part nobody in the organization can afford to just brush off. And something else became impossible to ignore too. Pro sports are built entirely on relationships with fans. Every ticket sold, every jersey bought, every broadcast watched, every sponsor signing a deal, they all want one thing above everything else: a growing audience. That audience is exactly what turned the Fever into one of the biggest stories in sports. And now a lot of those same fans are openly questioning whether they should even keep supporting the team. That's a dangerous spot for any franchise to be in. Sponsors watch public perception closely, TV partners keep an eye on ratings, executives track attendance, and owners definitely notice when momentum starts slipping the wrong way. These are things every pro league understands well. But honestly, the biggest surprise came from somewhere completely different. This controversy should have gotten buried under all the basketball success happening, but instead, it completely overshadowed it. 3 Fever players made the All-Star team, national TV kept giving the team primetime slots, and Caitlinclark remained one of the biggest draws in American sports. Yet none of that dominated the headlines. The controversy did instead. And that alone shows just how fast public attention can flip. One rough week can wipe out months of good momentum, and one PR mess can end up overshadowing the games themselves.
The WNBA right now. Really talk about tone deaf. The problem you have with the online community is because you haven't done anything about the situation, for F's sakes. Need to fire your shit coach. Middle finger.
And then the last piece clicked into place. All those fans posting receipts were sending a message that went way beyond just social media. They wanted the organization to understand that support should never be taken for granted. A lot of these fans discovered women's basketball because of Caitlinclark in the first place, and they poured their money, their weekends, and their attention into helping turn the Fever into one of the league's biggest success stories. Now they're just waiting to see what happens next, and whether the organization decides to respond or just stay quiet. The next few weeks are going to reveal a lot more than any press conference ever could. One thing's already crystal clear, though. This story isn't just about Stephanie White anymore. It's about trust, and it's about leadership.
White that Fever fans are sick and tired of jealous, racist lesbians assaulting Caitlinclark. She's not going to do that. It's part of Stephanie White's core political and social mindset. She cannot do it. She cannot put her own feelings and her own lifestyle to the side to do her job. I got to tell you, if I would have been Herb Simon, I would have heard that rant, and within 30 minutes, Stephanie White would have been relieved of her duties. I'd have sent her off.
And it's about whether one of the fastest growing franchises in pro sports can actually fix things with the fans who helped build its incredible rise in the first place. If you're enjoying this kind of content and want more coverage like this, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss the next update.